Coronation Street's Bernie Winter learns that her estranged Aunt Celeste is terminally ill next week, after publicly shunning her relative. Will Bernie put her problems with Celeste behind her, or will she refuse to budge? Having found out Celeste's connection to Bernie, Todd feels that the cafe worker has a right to know the truth about her aunt's poor health, which he became privy to when Celeste revealed to him that she is planning her own funeral. Todd breaks the news to Bernie at Roy's, says our Corrie insider. While there, he also encourages her to reconnect with Celeste while she still can. His words come from a place of caring, but given Bernie's dislike for her aunt, it's anyone's guess how she'll react. The week begins with Celeste turning up at Shuttleworth's to see Todd, who is surprised to see her so soon after their last meeting, when they put together her send-off plans over a drink. After a brief chat, Celeste leaves the Undertaker's and heads out onto the street, only to bump straight into Bernie. Celeste hurries towards Bernie, calling out her name, explains our source. But Celeste is clearly in Bernie's bad books, as she shoots her down with a hostile response. It's all very baffling for Todd, and he's even more shocked when Celeste reveals that she's Bernie's mom's twin sister. After coming clean to Bernie about Celeste's health, Todd informs his new pal that she's better off enjoying the time she has left rather than worrying about her niece. So, when Todd mentions that he's going to celebrate Pride at the weekend, Celeste throws caution to the wind and says that she'll come along for the ride too. Later in the week, Todd lets Bernie know that Celeste's health has deteriorated, but he's met with little to no interest. Why does Bernie hold so much resentment toward Celeste? At the next opportunity, Bernie sits down with Dev and opens up about the broken relationship between Celeste and her mum, shares our insider. You'll have to wait to find out exactly what Celeste did, but it's enough to have really hurt Bernie. With Bernie now aware that Celeste doesn't have long left to live, will the two women find a way to make amends? Or will Celeste go to her grave without the reunion she's after? Bernie Winter is about to find herself at the center of an emotional new family storyline in Coronation Street, with a devastating death shock threatening to turn her world upside down. Bernie has become one of Weatherfield's most familiar faces, known for her fierce loyalty, sharp humor, and determination to protect the people she loves. But in a dramatic new chapter, that strength is set to be tested when troubling news reaches the Winter family. At first, Bernie believes everything is finally beginning to settle down. Family tensions have eased, and she is determined to focus on those closest to her. However, that sense of security is shattered when an unexpected message arrives. The news concerns someone from Bernie's wider family circle, and the details are initially unclear. A missed phone call quickly becomes a series of unanswered messages, leaving Bernie increasingly worried that something serious has happened. Her fears grow when she discovers that the person she has been trying to contact has died. The revelation leaves Bernie completely stunned. Rather than immediately accepting what she has been told, Bernie begins asking questions. She wants to know exactly what happened, when it happened, and why nobody contacted her sooner. Her determination to find answers soon creates tension within the family. Bernie is convinced there is more to the situation than she has been told. While some relatives urge her to accept the tragedy and concentrate on supporting the family, Bernie cannot shake the feeling that important information is being kept from her. As grief begins to take hold, Bernie faces an agonizing emotional battle. She knows that her family needs her to stay strong, but behind closed doors she struggles to process the possibility that she has lost someone she cared about without even having the chance to say goodbye. The storyline could give actress Jane Hazelgrove the opportunity to explore a much more vulnerable side of Bernie. Viewers are likely to see the usually outspoken character struggling to find the right words as the reality of the loss begins to sink in. Instead of being the person offering advice to everyone else, Bernie suddenly finds herself needing support. The shock also has the potential to bring members of the Winter family closer together. However, grief does not always unite people. As Bernie starts digging deeper into the circumstances surrounding the death, disagreements emerge. One family member believes that continuing to investigate will only cause more pain, while Bernie refuses to stop until she understands what really happened. Her questions eventually lead her towards a revelation that she never expected. Could the death have been connected to a secret that the family has been hiding? Bernie begins noticing small inconsistencies in the stories she has been given. A conversation that does not quite add up, a missing detail and an unexplained decision all make her increasingly suspicious. For Bernie, the biggest question becomes whether the family is protecting her from the truth or deliberately keeping her in the dark. Meanwhile, the emotional impact begins to affect her relationships on the cobbles. Those closest to Bernie notice that she is becoming quieter and more withdrawn. She tries to carry on with normal life, but memories of the person she has lost keep returning. Even simple family moments become difficult. A familiar song, an old photograph or a casual comment can suddenly bring the grief rushing back. Bernie eventually reaches a breaking point and admits that she feels guilty. She wonders whether she could have done something differently or whether she should have recognized the warning signs earlier. Those around her attempt to reassure her that the tragedy was not her fault, but Bernie struggles to believe them. The storyline could also explore the way grief affects an entire family rather than just one individual. Different members of the family cope in completely different ways. Some want to talk about the person they have lost, while others refuse to mention the death at all. That creates further tension. Bernie finds herself caught between wanting to respect everyone's feelings and needing answers of her own. Eventually, she decides that she cannot continue living with unanswered questions. Her search for the truth takes her into unexpected territory, forcing her to confront someone she never expected to distrust. The confrontation could produce one of the storyline's biggest shocks. Bernie discovers that a crucial piece of information was deliberately withheld from her. Suddenly, the death is no longer simply a heartbreaking family tragedy. There may be another layer to the story, and Bernie is determined to uncover it. But the truth could be even more painful than she imagined. As the storyline develops, Bernie faces a difficult choice. Should she reveal everything she discovers, even if doing so threatens to tear the family apart? Or should she keep the secret in order to protect the people she loves? For a character who has spent so much time fighting for her family, it is a decision that could leave her completely torn. The emotional pressure eventually becomes too much, and Bernie finally opens up about how deeply the death has affected her. Her family sees a side of her that they rarely witness, not the outspoken woman ready with an opinion, but someone grieving and frightened about what the future might hold. The scenes could prove particularly powerful because Bernie has often been portrayed as someone who puts other people's needs before her own. Now, she has to learn that asking for help does not make her weak. As the family attempts to come to terms with the loss, another question remains unanswered. What really happened? And could the truth change everything Bernie believes about her family? With secrets, grief and emotional confrontations ahead, Bernie's latest storyline promises to put her firmly at the heart of the drama. The death shock may initially appear to be a devastating family tragedy, but as Bernie begins searching for answers, viewers could discover that there is far more beneath the surface. One thing is certain, Bernie Winter is not going to let unanswered questions destroy her family. Instead, she is determined to uncover the truth, no matter how painful it becomes. And when that truth finally emerges, it could leave Bernie and the entire Winter family facing a future they never expected. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to Crown ST.